Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most groan-inducing celebrity of all? Had to do it. Well, the star at the center of Disney's new live-action venture, Snow White, seems to be infuriating everyone on the political spectrum, so much so that the backlash for her woke takes has caused rumors that Disney might cancel the movie altogether. That's just a rumor. Cannot confirm that whatsoever. Just be aware of that. On the right, actress Rachel Zegler has irked commentators with Benny Johnson writing, "Meet your new Snow White, hates Walt Disney, hates Snow White origin story, hates men, hates capitalism, hates family values, hates the paying customer, unfriendly militant feminist, toxic social media past, hyper-political, polarizing narcissist. Great job, Disney." Not a strong endorsement there from Benny Johnson.
Yeah, Zegler sparked a lot of backlash among fans of the Disney classic Snow White. She said in interviews that she didn't like the original Snow White movie and called the prince character a stalker. Here's the actress talking about how they modernized Snow White for a 2023 audience.
Being a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
And here's conservative Tommy Lauren on Ziegler's take on the Snow White original.
Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character herself. I mean, that's one interview clip that you read the quote from, but she's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy, she doesn't like the prince, she thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress. She should get paid for streaming for every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Not only are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character. So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed. Beyond just them inserting feminism, I think we expect that at this point. But why do you have to mess with a classic, especially with someone who doesn't even seem to like her own character? Now listen.
So conservatives are big mad. What do you think about that, Jessica?
I'm confused with this whole, we're messing with the classic. The prince originally comes and saves her. No, he doesn't. He shows up at the end and she's in her eternal rest. And they're like, well, you guy who has barely been in the movie at all could kiss her and then she would not die. Or you could not kiss her and do the worst thing possible. And he kisses her and it's like, oh my God, he saved the day. He doesn't save her. He did what any normal person would do. It's like you give this person a peck on the lips or they die. What's your choice? That doesn't make him some hero who saves her. I think Zegler separately is a bit insufferable. Not for the reasons Tommy Lauren described, but because when she says, I should be paid for working in a dress for 18 hours a day. Yes, there are a lot of people on strike right now, so they get fairly compensated for the work they do. And she is working through it while other people are on the picket line. I think that's another reason why her wokeness, I don't know, feels a little fake. Maybe you should fight for the writers as well and for the other actors on strike right now for fair compensation. It's a little self-centered.
Yeah, obviously one can get too worked up about this, as maybe arguably some people on the right are doing. I do think there's something not at all wrong about this impulse to the criticism being made that they why you can just make a difference, just tell a different story, just make a new film, just have an original thought rather than trying to mess with things that are classic and the way you don't have to like them, but then just do something different, which Disney frequently does. I mean, and actually romantic love is not a significant plot in a lot of the new outputs from Disney, right? Moana, for instance, not really, and it's not the main part of Frozen really either. They've pivoted from classic love stories, fine. If that's what audiences want, fine. But we have to like go way back. In fact, I don't like any of their remakes of their old stuff, period, anyway. Didn't like the new Jungle Book better, or the new Lion King, or the new Aladdin. It seems like they're shamelessly trying to, like, they want you to remember, like, oh, you like that, so we're going to make you see it again, but we're going to change it. And also, in some cases, we're going to like update its cultural values if it was a long time ago. The Little Mermaid, like, why? Just stop, just make something new.
Yeah, I think the other weird part about this is there's also rumors that people from Disney directly have said that it's not an accurate take on the movie they've produced with Zegler, that her comments about how it is a very proactive feminist film are actually not true, which I think makes her appearances and her talking about this a little bit more interesting. Also, she says we a lot. And she apparently has a minimal salary, as she's described, as an actress to play Snow White. It doesn't appear she has written the film. So in her interviews, when she says we, I'm just not sure how accurate that is. I think it's just weird for her to make comments about how unjust the principles are when it comes to, okay, Disney's profiting for a very long time off of my short appearance in this film. I should be fairly compensated. And to show up in support of SAG-AFTRA when you're working on promoting the film, you're working as an actress to make the film, doesn't that make you a scab? Doesn't that mean you are working when everyone else is striking? Disney clearly hasn't agreed to the conditions of the strike, so it sounds to me that she's just trying to play both sides when it comes to the strike. And you can be a good feminist, sure. You can be a good feminist and also care about working people, but there's a very interesting brand of feminism I think she represents, which is this elitist feminism of like, I'm going to be the girl that's not saved by the prince, but also I'm not going to do anything for the working people in the country who show up every day and get their labor exploited. And I'm going to show up and act like I support them, but then actually do nothing beyond my words. It's this very empty brand of wokeness that I think she embodies, and that's why she's pretty much made the right and the left pretty sick of her.
Well, and there's another aspect of this that I wanted to bring up that is also kind of this is a labor issue and a wokeness issue. So this film, it's been reported that there are not the seven dwarves are not in it because they didn't want to, again, they're trying to be woke about this. It would be politically incorrect to have dwarves, but there are actors who are actually dwarves who would have wanted these roles. Like I've seen the people who fit this description being interviewed and making known on social media that they wouldn't have found it offensive. They find it offensive to not get work, to be disincluded from roles that would be a good fit for them. And this is very, like, it sounds like it's a good idea, but it's actually like denying opportunities to people. Like, what is the improvement?
What an interesting and nuanced problem, Robbie. Yeah, I thought.
Oh, you're not willing to join me here. I see how it is. I see you. I see you backing away slowly.
Hey, I support it. I think they should have left the dwarves in. I think they were probably they were the best part about the original Snow White, in my opinion. I can't imagine a Snow White without the dwarves. I think maybe what were the dwarves' labor agreement with Snow White? Maybe they could have had the dwarves stay in the movie and say, hey, we actually don't have enslaved dwarves working in a mine, which I think is what was going down.
Nobody's enslaved them. They're digging up gemstones because that's what mythological dwarves do. That's what they want to do. No one's making them.
The mines. I get it, Robbie.
No one's making them. I'll confess, I'm not the biggest fan, frankly, of Snow White, of the original. It's a little simple. It's not my favorite early Disney movie. Maybe that's just me. Didn't really appeal to me as a kid. Doesn't now either. I don't know. Not my cup of tea.
Baby Robbie, just like, I didn't quite like the film, Mom. It was a bit simple for my taste. And they're like, okay, Robbie, go read Anne Rind and go to bed.
It's the more boring of the beautiful maiden falls asleep Disney stories, right? I find Sleeping Beauty a little bit more exciting. There's a dragon in that one. I was a simple kid. I just want dragons. Just want dragons in my stuff.
Yeah, they could have made it interesting in other ways. I think Zegler's a PR nightmare for Disney because of how she shows up in these press conferences. I think if she showed up and said, we made some modifications from the original film and it's a surprise and you'll have to show up and see if you really like it. That would be promoting the film in a way that encourages people to go and watch it. But instead, I think it's this sort of self-centered thing of like, I made some changes to the film. We sat together and we said there needs to be some changes made. And I am not saved by a prince because that is so 1930s. And it's just very like, I made the changes and it's better now. And it's much more complicated and nuanced in a way that, was necessary. I improved upon this classic. It's just, I think she just pisses people off. And that's why so many people are angry. I don't think it's so political.
Things that set out to be woke, or even that set out explicitly to be anti-woke, I think are often just bad. Or, works of art or storytelling that has an explicit agenda and tries, just ends up not good. Like this actress, Rachel Zegler, she reminds me a little bit of the actress from Wednesday, the Netflix new Addams Family show on Netflix. And she looks a little bit like her. And that show, which I really liked, I would say is very woke or very progressive, kind of in how the story is told. But that's fine. I don't have to agree with everything to like it. I enjoyed it, but it's not it didn't set out, I think, to do that. So it could still be, and it's a fresh and novel take on an existing property. We'll see if that's what this Snow White is. I don't know. We'll have to find out if it does in fact make it to the theater. And that does it for us for today on Rising. Thank you so much for joining me, Jessica. Great to have you.
Thank you, Robbie. It's been another good show together. Sorry I'm not at the desk.
And enjoy your upcoming travels. And Brianna will be back with us tomorrow, I believe. In the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, now available anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Have a good one.
Bye, all.